Well, first of all, critical race theory is divisive, and we can't teach our troops to fight for our country and at the same time expect for them to fight for our country and teach them that our country is not worth fighting for. This needs to stop. It should not be being taught in our military installations or in defense at all. This is very divisive, and it leads to a lack of morale in our troops. And certainly that is important, that they have unity and that they feel strong, that they're defending a country that is worth defending, not that we're teaching them that the country that they're defending is not worth defending. So it's very important that we do away with this. It is divisive. It has no place whatsoever in our military.
Congressman, how wide is it taught in our military, and how widespread is it, if so?
Well, it is taught in our military. In fact, it's taught at West Point. There are classes at West Point. There's an introductory class there. The Navy, the Naval Academy has some required reading on critical race theory. Look, critical race theory is very divisive. It's first of all, I don't think it's true. I think it's an ideology that is Marxist and socialist, and certainly should not be taught anywhere, but especially not in our military.
Angela Morabito, jump in.
Critical race theory was invented on college campuses. It did not stay on college campuses. Campus reform has been tracking this, how states are stepping up and saying, look, we're not going to teach this divisive ideology to our students anymore. And we're seeing legislatures in places like Idaho, Iowa, Oklahoma say, look, you can still teach critical race theory in college. Sure, that's fine. We're going to respect academic freedom. But what you can't do is force anyone to take a class or take a training where they are told that they bear responsibility for past sins of this country just because of what they look like. It's ridiculous. And look, when you take this into classrooms into younger and younger kids, you're going to tell a child that the deck is stacked against them? No, you can't make it because of something that happened in this country decades before you were born? This is ridiculous. And, you know, Congressman Carter, I would ask, shouldn't teachers be cheerleading for achievement? Whether they're teaching kindergartners or teaching our troops, should not they be supporting achievement no matter where it comes from or who's the one doing it? Because otherwise, look, if you demonize someone in that classroom, you demoralize everyone in that classroom. What would you say to that?
Well, there's no question about it. Obviously, it's important in our classrooms. It's important for our children, but it's especially important for our troops. And that's why I introduced the legislation that it not be taught in anything to do with the Department of Defense. Because how can we expect for our troops to fight for a country that they're being taught is not worth fighting for? That's ridiculous, as you say, and certainly has no part whatsoever in our society.
I want to get your reaction to the G7 leaders calling for a new World Health Organization-led probe into the origins of COVID-19. Governor Ron DeSantis spoke out on the origins of coronavirus with Maria on Sunday Morning Futures. Take a listen.
I tell you, this origins of COVID, this is such an astounding cover-up, one of the biggest cover-ups we've ever seen, and probably in the history of our country that we've dealt with in terms of what they did with the gain-of-function research, understanding that these researchers had been infected in the fall of 2019, and then to cover it up for months, and then to not view that as something that's of utmost importance to be able to, one, get the truth, but then to hold China accountable.
Congressman, your reaction.
No question about it. China sent us the virus, and then they tried to cover it up. They sent us the virus, and they took our jobs. Now the Democrats in China are trying to cover this up. And why are they trying to cover it up? Why did they deny the theory that it came out of the Wuhan School of Virology? The reason why is because Donald Trump first suggested it, and they hate Donald Trump. If it weren't for Donald Trump and for Operation Warp Speed, we wouldn't have a vaccine now. We wouldn't be recovering from this pandemic. But here they are. They've been trying to cover up the origin of it. And it's important that we understand where it originated, because that's the only way we can stop it from happening again. It's the only way that we're ever going to be able to hold China accountable. This has been a cover-up with big tech. They've been complicit in it, trying to suppress people who posted anything about the idea that it came out of the School of Virology, and now they are backtracking. Now they're finally admitting, okay, this is a possibility. But again, Why did they do this initially? Because Donald Trump was the first one to suggest it.
And I'll just point out, the Wall Street Journal editorial page writes about this, that the world's leaders want the same WHO that failed in its first COVID-19 origin study to do another one, this time with feeling. And by the way, I think Tom Cotton was even ahead of President Trump on that, at least pointing to the existence of the Wuhan virology lab. Congressman Buddy Carter, thank you so much. Great to see you this morning.
Thank you.
Breaking news.